Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Ekamaksharam Hridi Nirantaram Bhasate Swayam Likyate Katam Hridaya Kuhara Madhye केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रम् ह्यहमहमिति साक्षात् आत्मरूपेण भाति हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिन्वता मज्जता वा पवनचलनरोधात् आत्मनिष्ठो भवत्वम् देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकम् अहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्ततपेतसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिय दृष्टात्मनिष्ठात्मना सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति. We offer our salutations to Ramana, who shines as the self in all beings, and begin today's Thursday Satsang. The Thursday Satsang usually starts with the reading from Guru Vachaka Kovai. Two verses are selected from that Guru Vachaka Kovai by Kumari Revati that will be read and we meditate on its meaning, and we will sit down for self-enquiry meditation for 15 minutes and in the second session on by 10 minutes. And after we finish two sessions of self-enquiry meditation, we have a summing up by Venkatesh Deshpande ji, and the satsang will conclude by the offering of Ramana Shtottara chanting by Vaibhavji and Prathanama. Let us read the first verse that has been chosen for today's satsang. It is from Guru Vachaka Kovai, which contains the question and answers by Bhagavan, giving the answers for the questions asked by the devotees, and they are beautifully compiled in a poetic format by Muruganar Swami, and we are reading the English translation of those verses which are poetically composed by Muruganar Swami. Here is the first verse, 591. Only those who do not realize that food consumes their very life each time they eat it think that enjoyments exist on this earth solely to be indulged in, feel hungry for them and chase after them. Here the verse is telling, 591, only those who do not realize that food consumes their very life each time they eat it. Think that enjoyments exist on this earth solely to be indulged in, feel hungry for them, and chase after them. There's a small note which says, in both this and the previous verse, the word food does not just mean food alone, it implies all the objects that the senses perceive, desire, and consume. Here it says the word food does not just mean food alone. It implies all objects that the senses perceive, desire, and consume. Here Bhagavan is telling that the happiness does not come from anything outside. The basic of the needs that we have is the need for food. And Bhagavan says that even in that basic need, food, we do not have happiness. We do not have this eternal happiness. If some devotee says that we feel happy when we eat sweets, when we eat our favorite dish, we are happy. For that, Bhagavan would say, okay, you feel happy when you eat one of your favorite dish. But if the happiness was there inside that food, if the happiness was the nature of the food, then it should give happiness to everyone in an equal way. Everybody, if I like gulab jamun, everybody who eats gulab jamun should be the same they should feel the same happiness which I feel. But that is not the case. Some people like gulab jamun, some people do not like gulab jamun, and some people may like gulab jamun. But the thing is, at this over full, or I have had 10 sweets already, and you're giving one more sweet. No, no, I don't want this right now. So it may not give them happiness. And if the sweet had the happiness, if a person had 10 kgs of gulab jamun, then it should make them 10 times more happier. Is that the case? No. So after eating one or two sweets itself, we are so full and we feel okay, enough, no more of sweet. So the happiness does not come from anything outside, including the food that we eat. Instead, Ramana is telling that the food eats us because we are leading our lives only for the food. We want that food, we want this food, we want to taste that food. So our mind is always working towards when is the next meal? When is the next meal? When is the next meal? But when we see Ramana's life, Ramana, as soon as he came to Tiruvannamalai, Arunachala, he had a packet of the sweets and the savories which was made for the Gokulashtami in Muthu Krishna Bhagavatar's house. But Ramana didn't even wanted to taste that. He just threw that sweets into the iron kulam tank along with the belongings that he had, little money that he had, even his sacred thread and the clothes that he was wearing. He put all into the iron kulam tank. Such is the peak of that renunciation. And we always wonder, Ravana, he didn't even think about having those sweets and eating it later. He did not even think of having that little change that he had, food would fetch him some food for the next meal. But there was no thought of any food because Ramana had understood that the happiness does not lie in the food. When we are searching for food, when we eat one food, then we crave. If we eat one meal, we have had your stomach full of one meal. Is it the end of all the meals that we are going to have? No. We have just finished lunch. We are thinking about what should we have for dinner. Ah, I should have already had chapati for the lunch. I should have something else for the dinner. So already our mind is thinking about the next meal. So the food, we think that we are eating the food, but actually the food is consuming all our energies, and food is complete. Bhagavan says all the objects, these objects that we want to possess and consume and we are desiring for, it is clouding our mind, it is filling our mind with these thoughts. To be free from these thoughts, Ramana says one need to stop desiring for these food. To understand that the permanent happiness does not lie in any of these external objects. is our own true nature. We haven't seen in one question ballet, which was very, very inspiring for one of my students, where he told we have uh, the ballet is about how every individual is not actually individual. In our minds, we are actually a group of people. We are crowded. Our minds are crowded. So if somebody gives us a chocolate to eat, what do? We eat the chocolate and say, this is very, very sweet chocolate. But one had better chocolates, and then say, oh, this is better, but this is very, very, so has a special taste. Ask for what company it is. See what is the label, what flavor it is. And one more mind will say, oh, you wanted to do some diet and you wanted to lose some weight. What is happening? You are eating this chocolate. And another toothache thought will come and say, why are you eating this chocolate? You will get toothache. And one more thought will come and say, you've taken a chocolate from a stranger. What if it is very, very poisonous? You should not have done that. Okay, be careful. Like that, all these thoughts. It's only one chocolate, but how many thoughts it is creating in our minds. It says, oh, he's given a chocolate, so I should also do some favor. If somebody who do not like has given the chocolate, say, he has given a chocolate, maybe there's some problem with the chocolate. Otherwise, you'd have never given a chocolate. So one thought of one chocolate can mind. Imagine what kind of desires that we are having, what kind of we want to consume so many things. So how many more thoughts they are creating in our minds? Ramana says, understand this one underlying point. Whatever you may desire, whatever you may consume, understand that the happiness does not lie in any of them. So we see in Ramana's life that he used to help in the kitchen and he used to taste all the sambar and chutney and all and suggest what has to be added and what has to be done. So he used to do the taste checking. So Ramana was very, very sensitive in that area of taste. At the same time, when you see him sitting in front of the banana leaves, although the devotees would have served various kinds of food, Ramana would mix all of them into one lump and consume it. To mean that we may taste the most tastiest food, but that will not give us permanent happiness at all. The food has to be had to take care of this instrument called the body. The food is required only for this body. So whatever is required, that has to be done. So Ramana did not say don't have any food. Have the food, but do not add more thoughts. These are the foods which I like. This food I don't like. Don't add those the superficial thoughts on that food. Just have the food as prasadam. What is given when there's food? It is Dwadashi for us. When there is no food, it is Ekadashi. With this thought, Ramana says when a person eats without any ego, then that food becomes prasadam. So, whenever we eat the food or whenever we are consuming anything, we need to consume it without the ego. Then it becomes prasadam. Prasadam is blessing, it becomes blessings to us. So, he gives us the path to destroy this ego and make the food the prasadam. How do you destroy the ego? The thought is a manifestation of the desire that we have. So, as soon as the thought arises, you need to understand that this thought will never give you permanent happiness. Thought of any food or thought of any object that you want to consume will not give you any happiness. Instead, happiness is your own true nature. So, as soon as the thought arises, one need to question for whom is this thought? The answer is for me, and quickly turn the attention within and ask the question, who am I? And hold on to this question. And this question will slowly destroy all the other thoughts. And that pure thought, ego, will also slowly subside into its true nature, which is the heart, which is limitless bliss, and which is not connected. It is untouched by any of the outer possessions. or any of the outer objects or situation which we think is bringing happiness. The question, who am I, will take us to our true nature, which is limitless bliss and peace. With this thought, let us practice self enquiry for the next 15 minutes. Om Bhagavate Shri Ramana. Let us move for the next verse that has been chosen for today's satsang. Verse number 831. Only those who have extricated themselves from the multitude of things that like a dream appears within them by regarding those things as mere imagination will root out the deception, the illusory corruption. None of the others will know the means to put an end to that corruption. Once again, the verse 831. Only those who have extricated themselves from the multitude of things that like a dream appears within them by regarding those things as mere imagination will root out the deception, the illusory corruption. None of the others will know the means to put an end to that corruption. Bhagavan says the mind, truth and obvious, the mind can trick us and make us forget it or not to pay attention on that. So Bhagavan says this mind which creates all these phenomenon is the source of corruption. So one should extricate oneself from this. One should get away from this multitude of things which the mind is creating by saying this is only imagination and turn towards that truth which is always present, which is unchanging, and which is our own true nature. Bhagavan gives the example of one story where two people, Ramesha and Suresha, Rama and Krishna, they have gone to Kashi for the sake of business to make a lot of money from south of India. They have gone to north of Kashi to set up a business there and to earn money. And when they have gone, a traveler comes to their village, and those Ramesha and Suresha have sent a message through that messenger. And the messenger comes and says, Ramesha's family, that, oh, Ramesha is doing very, very well. And he's made a lot of money. And in no time, he will finish all the work there and come to the village. He will return back to the village. And he turned towards Suresha's family and tell them that I'm really sorry. The Suresha has had has expired. He got some illness and he has expired and he is not going to come back. So the Ramesha's family is rejoicing. They are awaiting the coming of their son or their husband. But here in Suresha's family, everybody is mourning. Everybody is missing that son or husband or a brother, and they're all in sorrow. And in some days, to their surprise, Suresha comes to his house. And everybody who is mourning now, they are all surprised and they say, you are okay. Oh, whoa, the messenger told us that you are dead, but you are alive, you are fine. And Suresha says, oh, did the messenger tell that like that? Tell about Ramesha who has expired. So that family which was rejoicing until now, they are shocked. They are like, what is this? We thought our son was coming back and we are all rejoicing and we are all happy. But the truth was, he was not at all there. He was already dead and gone. But here, the other family was mourning. But instead, they had to rejoice because their relative, who is Suresha, was doing fine. So how is it that the mind only perceives the information that it gets? So the mind is always corrupted. It can imagine things. If some information is there, it imagines and creates its own world of thoughts and makes us drown in that ocean, the whirlpool of thoughts. So Ramana, only way to be rid of this corruption is to understand that everything that mind creates is only illusion. The mind may create beautiful, nice, beautiful thoughts. Ramana says even that thought is imagination. Every thought is only imagination. You have to put aside all the thoughts and turn towards which is available, which is thought free. Chinta vihinam hridi chintayami. In this big apara satchit sukhavari rashe, in this ocean of satchit sukha, that is satchit ananda, the whole world that we think, oh, whole world, it's only yasyor mimatram bhuvanam samastam. The whole world is only a small wave or a small ripple in that big ocean. Imagine one small ripple in the big ocean. It is absolutely insignificant. Such insignificant is this world. And in this world, we are such a small part of this world. But what do we think? Ah, our problems are so big. And the mind is magnifying those problems and issues that we have and creating this imagination that we are doing the most important thing in the whole world. But Ramana says, all this is the doing of the corrupt mind, is the imagination of the mind. Do not perceive any of these thoughts. The whole world is only Yasyur Mimatram. But you are neither the world, neither this mind. You are that Apara Sachit Sukhavari Rashi. You are that ocean of Sachit Ananda. That is your true nature. So do not pursue any thought which is only going to create problems. Instead, turn your attention from where is this thought arising from? It is arising from me. Then ask the question, who am I? And by holding on to this question alone, one can be free from this mind which is creating all the problems. We, when we abide in the self, which is free from all the thoughts, then alone we can find eternal peace and happiness. Until that is attained, let us continue the sadhana lovingly with great faith in Bhagavan and love in the sadhana that we are doing. We'll turn our attention to the self. In the next 10 minutes, we'll practice self. Bhagavate Shri Ramana. Namo Ramana. We will have the summing up of today's two verses, which is usually done by Venkatesh Deshpande ji. In his absence, we've been meditating on the two verses. The crux of the two themes, the two verses, Ramana has been reiterating to get back to your own true nature within. And that is the only solution. Ramana in his Appalam Patti says, Appalam ittu pare, attai சாப்பிட்டும் ஆசையை தீரே. அப்பளம் இட்டு பாரு, அத்தை சாப்பிட்டும் ஆசையை தீரே. Have the appalams, and after eating this appalam, find solace. All your desires find fulfillment by eating this Atma Appalams. In the Anupallavi he says, Ippuvi tannil ஏங்கி திரியாமல் சத்போத குரு சத்குருவானவர் செப்பாது சொன்ன தத்துவமாகிய ஒப்புயர்வில்லோய் ஓர் மொழியின்படி பழமுத்தி பாரு அத்தை சாப்பிட்டும் ஆசையை தீரே. In this world, இப்புவி தன்னில் ஏங்கி திரியாமல். We are thinking that the happiness can be got by something in the world. So we are going round and round and round and round in this world. And Ramana says, enough of this going round. Stop. Stop and listen to the Sadbodha given by the Guru. And how is that Guru giving us the Upadesha? Without speaking, he is speaking. He is speaking in that silence and he is telling us, Summa ire, be as you are. Today is the day which is celebrated as Christmas, celebration of coming of Jesus. And Ramana quotes the Biblic maximum from Bible. He says, be still and know you are God. Be still. That is the only way that you can understand that you are God. Instead, our mind, what is it doing? It is constantly engaging itself in the activities. And Ramana is telling that we think that by attaining something, we are attaining some great position. But instead, Ramana is reminding us by actually running behind one object, it creates many more seeds of that desire. And it makes us keep running again and again and again and again and again. So the external objects will never give you permanent happiness. And he also reminds us that the mind is corrupt and it is going to create all this imagination. We have the beautiful story which Bhagavan says a boy was reading in his room and he saw outside his window, he saw something which was very, very dark and scary, and it was moving when fluttering and moving. And he was really scared. He thought that is a ghost. And he locked up the door, closed the window, and went to sleep. But next morning, when the sun has risen, he woke up, and the first thought came was, oh, what about that ghost which was seen outside in the window? And he slowly opened the window. And what did he see? He saw it was only a lamp post, and some cloth was stuck to that lamp post which was fluttering and creating that movement and the sound. And that is what Bhagavan says, that is the corrupt mind. What does it do? It sees things in half light and it imagines things. It imagines the ghost that never exists, only a lamppost, but it imagines to be a scary ghost and feels afraid, feels anxious, feel worried. So it is only creating this confusion with its half light. But when we turn towards the light which lights this, what is from where is that half light coming to the mind? It is coming from one full light, right? So when we start questioning ourselves and getting back to that full light, which is the self, then alone we can see everything clearly like the daylight. We understand everything is joyous, everything is perfect as it is, and we don't have to worry about anything. The only thing that we need to do is to abide in the self, which is our own true nature. This is the crux of Ramana's teaching, and he keeps repeating it again and again and again and again, because although we know this is the truth, the mind keeps moving. So Ramana is compassionate, and he is teaching us the same truth again and again until we realize the truth. He will not leave his hold on us. So we need to have faith in Bhagavan and continue our sadhana. So let us conclude today's satsang with the offering of Ramana Ashtottara by Vaipulji and Prarthanama. We'll all turn our attention towards Bhagavan Arunachala Ramana, who resides as the self in the heart, and we offer the flowers of attention to his lotus feet. We have the Ramanashtottara chanting by Vaipulji and Prarthana.
Namo Ramana. Bharadwaja Vishwanatha Virachitam Sri Ramanashtottara Shatanamavalihi Apara Satchet Sukhavari Rashe Yasyormi Matram Bhuvanam Samastam Guhahitam Tam Ramanam Gabhiram Chinta Vihinam Hridhi Chintayami Om Mahasena Mahomshena Jataya Om Sri Om Akhanda Samvidakaraaya Namaha Om Mahaujase Namaha Om Karanodbhavaya Namaha Om Jagadhitavataraaya Namaha Om Sri Bhuminatasthalostithaya Namaha Om Parasharakulottamsaya Namaha Om Sundararya Namaha Om Kamaniya Sucharitraya Namaha Om Chonachalamaholinamanasaaya Namaha Om Sarnahastakaaya Namaha Om Srimadvadashantamahasarelabdhavidyodayaya Namaha Om Mahashaktinipatena Prabuddhaya Namaha Om Paramathavide Namaha Om Tivraya Namaha Om Pitrupadanveshine Namaha Om Indumaulina Pitrumate Namaha Om Tapo Mayaya Namaha Om Sinaya Namaha Om Mahayogine Namaha Om Mahotsahaya Namaha Om Kushagradiye Namaha Om Shanta Sankalpa Sambrahmaya Namaha Om Susandrashe Namaha Om Savitre Namaha Om Sthiraya Namaha Om Tapakshapita Sarvangaya Namaha Om Chandrikasiddhahasha Srimanditamanamandalaya Namaha Om Chutavakyam Samasenaya Namaha Om Chunitakila Vibramaya Namaha Om Veda Vedanta Tattvajnaya Namaha Om Chinmudrine Namaha Om Trigunatigaya Namaha Om Virupasha Guhavasaya Namaha Om Virajita Chalakritaye Namaha Uddiptanayanaye Nandavaya Namaha Om Gambhiraya Namaha Om Paramacharya Namaha Om Suprasannaya Namaha Om Abhayapradaya Namaha Om Dakshinasyanidhaya Namaha Om Dhiraya Namaha Om Dakshinabhimukhaya Namaha Om Swaraje Namaha Om Mahashaye Namaha Om Bhagavate Namaha Om Vidyaya Namaha Om नमः। ॐ दीर्घदर्शिने नमः। ॐ आप्ताय नमः। शुमार्गप्रदर्शकाय नमः। ॐ समदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्यदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्याय नमः। ॐ प्रशान्ताय नमः। ॐ अमितविक्रमाय नमः। ॐ सुकुमाराय नमः। ॐ सदानन्दाय नमः। ॐ मृदुभाषिणे नमः। ॐ दयार्णवाय नमः। ॐ श्रीशूर्णाचलरिद्बोधस्कन्दाश्रमनिकेतनाय नमः। ॐ सद्दर्शनोपदेष्ट्रे नमः। ॐ सद्भक्तवृन्दपरिवृताय नमः। ॐ गणेशमुनिभृङ्गेन सेविताङ्घ्रिसरोरुहाय नमः। ॐ गीतोपदेशसारादिग्रन्थसञ्चिन्नसंशयाय नमः। ॐ वर्णाश्रममतातीताय नमः। ॐ सौम्याय नमः। ॐ आत्मवते ॐ सर्वसद्गुणिने नमः। ॐ आत्मारामाय नमः। ॐ महाभागाय नमः। ॐ मातृमुक्तिविधायकाय नमः। ॐ विनताय नमः। ॐ विनुताय नमः। ॐ विप्राय नमः। ॐ मुनीन्द्राय नमः। उज्ज्वलाय नमः। ॐ दर्शनादगसंहारिणे नमः। ॐ मौनेन स्वात्मबोधकाय नमः। ॐ मृच्छान्तिकरसान्निध्याय नमः। ॐ स्मरणाबन्धमोचकाय नमः। ॐ अन्तस्थितिरचण्डांशवे नमः। ॐ संसारार्णवकारिकाय नमः। ॐ ऋणादृशस्तुतिद्रष्टे नमः। ॐ हार्दविद्याप्रकाशकाय नमः। जप्रज्ञाय नमः। ॐ नैसर्गिकम् नमः। ॐ नमः। ॐ दण्डपाणये नमः। कमलपूर्णाय नमः। ॐ कमरोगविषग्वराय नमः। ॐ स्कन्दाय नमः। ॐ देवदमाय नमः। ॐ सत्याय नमः। ॐ सेनान्ये नमः। ॐ पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः। ॐ श्रीरमण भगवते श्रीरमणाष्टोत्तरशतनाम पूजामर्पयामि। यस्तानोररुणाचलस्य पदयोः स्मृत्याजनिं प्राप्यत दिव्यानुग्रहसुग्रवाहविवशस्तादात्म्य भावं गतः निर्निश्च स्वगभीरनित्यतपसा लोकान् पुनः शेखर तस्मै श्रीरमणाय ते नमोऽर्पणम् लोकोत्तर ज्योतिषे। ॐ नमो भगवते श्रीरमणाय।